Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, where we bring you accurate updates and critical financial developments from around the world, especially concerning the Iraqi dinar. As of the current date in the USA, an extraordinary shift is unfolding, one that places Iraq on the brink of a financial transformation unlike anything we've seen in recent decades. If you're tracking revaluation news or global monetary trends, now is the time to pay close attention. The latest statements coming from top global organizations, particularly the United Nations, point toward a massive realignment in Iraq's financial status, and it's happening faster than expected. The Iraqi dinar is expected to be the first mover, setting the pace for others like the Vietnamese dong. What's happening now isn't just local news, it's generating ripples across international finance. The United Nations has made a bold declaration that has captured the attention of investors and policymakers worldwide. Iraq is poised to emerge as a global banking powerhouse. That's not a term used lightly. For decades, Iraq has been known for conflict, sanctions, and fragile institutions. Yet now, a different narrative is taking shape. The most surprising part? This declaration came before the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, made any public announcement. The UN, in essence, stepped out ahead, indicating this isn't mere speculation, it's a carefully timed global signal. This development isn't about hype or theory. When an institution as influential as the UN makes a claim of this magnitude, it acts as a bellwether for what's coming. And unlike the instability of Iraq's past, this moment isn't about war or recovery. It's about economic positioning. Iraq is not simply being mentioned as an oil-dependent nation in need of rebuilding, it's being elevated as a player in the financial world. Just a few years ago, imagining Iraq in such a role would have been dismissed as fantasy. But that mindset is changing rapidly. Iraq, once burdened by invasion, economic collapse, and chronic corruption, is now being seen in a different light. A major factor fueling this transformation is geopolitical in nature. With the return of former President Trump to the international stage, a series of ripple effects have been felt across global alliances, energy markets, and financial institutions. While opinions on his leadership vary, his foreign policy approach has always leaned toward aggressive investment opportunities and bold transactional moves. Under his administration, discussions about rebuilding and financially revitalizing the Middle East, especially Iraq, shifted from fringe theories to serious boardroom discussions. That shift in tone appears to be continuing, possibly accelerating, in light of his renewed influence. It's hard to view this timing as pure coincidence. The United Nations doesn't make such statements for dramatic flair. It responds to strategic momentum. And there's no doubt something behind the scenes has changed. Iraq is now being repositioned, not pitied. When we ask why the UN's words carry weight, the answer is clear. Even if one questions the UN's motives or bureaucratic history, the financial world does not ignore its declarations. Major global institutions, banks, and funds react swiftly to these types of statements, not because of politics, but because of what it signals. Opportunity. Calling Iraq a future banking hub isn't just flattering, it's effectively an endorsement. It tells international lenders, credit agencies, and capital firms that Iraq is entering a new phase. For institutions like the IMF and the World Bank, this kind of message gives a green light to move forward without fear of reputational backlash. Investors, both public and private, now have cover to enter the market with confidence. For Iraq, this means access to foreign direct investment, better terms on debt restructuring, and the inflow of serious capital. It's not just about symbolism, it's about opening doors that were previously shut. The potential impact on Iraq's citizens could be profound. From school teachers in Basra to software developers in Mosul, this transition may represent the first real opportunity in generations to move from mere survival to sustainable growth. It's about more than just banking infrastructure or high-rising buildings. A modern financial sector introduces access to credit, capital for startups, mortgages for families, and long-term planning for young professionals. It could spark a new middle class, one that is technologically equipped, and globally connected. For the average Iraqi, this is more than economic news. It's personal. Now, it's important to acknowledge that we've heard similar stories before. Iraq has approached the edge of transformation many times, only to be pulled back by internal instability or foreign manipulation. That skepticism is warranted. However, what sets this moment apart is the decisiveness of the UN's language. They're not hedging their bets or offering cautious optimism. They are declaring intent, and that kind of bold statement doesn't happen without preparation. If Iraq can navigate this moment correctly, it has the chance to fundamentally reshape its role on the global stage. This isn't just about economic growth, it's about national identity. A country once associated with destruction could soon be known for innovation and leadership in the financial sector. The path won't be easy. With attention comes both opportunity and risk. Investors may flood in, but so might exploiters. The challenge for Iraq will be to protect its sovereignty while embracing its new financial future. The idea of Iraq exporting financial services might seem far-fetched to those still anchored in its past, but digital banking platforms, fintech innovations, and financial consulting could become some of the country's newest exports if this transition is managed correctly. As more international institutions take note, Iraq could become a case study in rapid economic reinvention. Imagine global financial firms setting up offices in Baghdad, or Iraqi fintech companies being listed on international exchanges. These possibilities, once improbable, are now within reach. International investors are already quietly assessing Iraq's readiness. They're not waiting for perfect conditions, they're watching for signals. And the UN's bold message is precisely that. It lowers the perceived risk and increases the likelihood of partnerships. Countries that once hesitated to engage financially with Iraq may now see it as an emerging frontier for investment and collaboration. Major banks could soon be in talks to open branches, partner with local institutions, or assist in modernizing infrastructure. Sovereign wealth funds might begin allocating capital toward Iraqi bonds or equities. This isn't about hope, it's about positioning for long-term gain. For the global financial community, this moment reflects a deeper understanding of untapped regions. Iraq's natural resources, youthful population, and strategic location make it ripe for transformation. But only now does the global framework appear to support that vision. With strategic alignment from global powers and support from major institutions, Iraq may finally get the backing it needs to escape its cycle of dependency and turmoil. Still, challenges remain. Corruption, outdated regulations, and political uncertainty cannot be ignored. But even those hurdles are being reevaluated. As new leadership emerges and global eyes remain focused, there's greater incentive than ever to implement reforms that once seemed politically impossible. It's a matter of national interest now, not just politics. If Iraq succeeds in instituting financial reform, the resulting credibility could have a multiplier effect. Each successful step forward invites more investment, more partnerships, and more stability. Meanwhile, the presence of former President Trump on the international stage adds another unpredictable but potentially impactful layer. His policy philosophy tends to favor bold action and clear outcomes. His return could bring renewed pressure on the region to accelerate financial normalization and economic cooperation. Some insiders suggest that back-channel discussions have already occurred, laying groundwork for future deals and cooperation. Trump's emphasis on economic sovereignty and regional investment fits with this broader picture of Iraq's shift from crisis to opportunity. While the political narrative will continue to evolve, the financial trajectory now has its own momentum. What was once seen as unlikely is now being modeled and projected by some of the world's most powerful institutions. The timing of the UN's message wasn't accidental, it was strategic. As oil-dependent economies search for diversification, Iraq is signaling that it's ready to join the financial world not just as a recipient of aid, but as a contributor and leader. And so we find ourselves at a critical junction. The road ahead for Iraq could define not just the future of its economy, but the future of the region. A stable, financially thriving Iraq has the potential to influence neighboring nations, reshape trade alliances, and offer a new blueprint for post-conflict recovery. Countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia are watching closely, not just as neighbors but as economic competitors and potential collaborators. For those of us observing this from outside, the implications are massive. Currencies like the Iraqi dinar, once dismissed as unstable, may now carry serious weight in discussions of emerging markets. Traders, analysts, and policy experts will have to revise old assumptions, and for Iraqis, this is more than symbolic. It's a chance to step into a new era where opportunity replaces despair, and where planning for the future is not just a luxury for the elite, but a real possibility for everyday citizens. We'll continue following this situation closely on Iraqi Dinar News, providing you with verified updates as events unfold. Whether you're watching from the US, Europe, or within Iraq itself, now is the time to stay informed, stay alert, and stay hopeful. Because what's taking shape isn't just financial news, it's a movement, and those who understand it early will be in a position to benefit most. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this update with others who care about the future of Iraq and global economic shifts. Remember, patience and knowledge are your strongest assets. Let's walk this journey together with optimism and clarity.